39.b is forms of linear equations, and I have changed the order. So when you're looking in your book, A and B are a little different. I went ahead and put B as A and A as B, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But forms of linear equations. We know a linear equation is the equation of a straight line. And to say straight is a little bit redundant, but I'm emphasizing the fact that it's not a curve or a locus. So it's the equation of a line, not like a parabola or a hyperbola. This is going to be a straight line or a linear equation. This is the one we deal with in the previous chapters and previous lessons and previous years often, and that's y equals mx plus b. And we already know how that breaks down. M is your slope, b is your y-intercept. This is a very useful, easy to graph. If I looked at this, I could start at 11/5, which would be 2 and a fifth, and go my slope, my rise over my run, and very easily graph it out. Slope-intercept form is very, very useful. Okay, the standard or general form, ax plus by plus c, this equation written in standard form looks like this. They're the same numbers, they're just written in standard form. And how would I do that? Well, this one was pretty simple. I multiplied everything by 5 and then got everything on the same side of the equation. That left me with 3x plus 5y minus 11. And this is found most commonly when you're starting with a problem. And even if they said, graph this linear equation, you may change it from this format to this one because it's a whole lot easier to graph, although you could graph it from either way. The third one is double intercept form. Now, double intercept form requires me to get an x value divided by a constant, a y value divided by a constant equaling 1. And this shows our intercepts, both intercepts, simultaneously in the same equation. So the easiest way to do this, to get it this way, is to take like a standard form equation and get it equal to 11, like we did here. And so moving this 11 over, and then dividing everything by that 11 so that it equals into 1. And once I do that, I flip my equation because that would give me 3/11ths of x and 5/11ths of y equals 1. And remembering that it's just the same way I can go up 2 levels on a division problem, I can drop 2 levels. So I unsimplify that into an x with a over a fraction and a y over a fraction. This a and b stand for fractional numbers most commonly. They may not. If the intercept's a whole number, it's not going to work out that way, but it would work as a whole number. But in this case here, it ends up as 11 over 3 and 11 over 5. It shows both intercepts. D is my point slope form. This one is very easy to work with when I'm given two equations, x and y, and I'm already given an x and y, and a slope already. Well, I can just stick that right in and get it. This is what it looks like to get it into the point slope form. Once again, we're working with the same standard equation. You can see how easy it would be to get that down and then factor out the 3/5. The letter E is the two-point form, and this is one of our least common types. I'm going to go ahead and put it on here because the book does have it, although we don't use it as commonly. Notice that it has a y and a y1, has an x and an x1, and then this is hidden in here. What does that look like to you? This would be the change in y over the change in x. So this one and this format are very, very similar. And in fact, if I just move this y over to here, I would have y equals mx plus b with the slope and the points. This is a useful format, the two-point form, for finding the equation of a line when given any 2 points. You can just simply plug them in and you have an x and a y in your answer, and everything else was a part of your variable set that gives you your solution. So these are the different forms of linear equations. Don't let it fool you when you look at it and you say, I don't know what to do with this. You can always convert from one form to the other by simply using your algebraic steps to get it to look like these steps or these forms. The biggest thing to remember on this lesson is that you're going to want to remember this is what slope-intercept form is, or y-intercept form. Here's what standard form is. Here's what double intercept. That's how this is going to look. Getting a 1 value in front of the x and the y, then equal to 1. The point slope form, with looking at it saying it's got a subtraction of both a y1 and an x1 and a slope. And that's how you're going to get it to look like that. And then, of course, the two-point form, which is just like the slope-intercept form with the final or the y-intercept moved back over as a negative value.